find it very important.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, thank you. Maybe just a little bit of an up again.
Say again who I am.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah,
I am
please.
Smadar
No,
Goldstein.
because I want Dara to be involved because well, she's a teacher herself, a great professional and a great strategist, and Haval that she won't be part of this.
Sure. So I grew up in America. I made Aliyah 26 years ago. I have a bachelor's and master's in Jewish education and Jewish studies. I'm getting my DSJS, which is a Doctor of Science in Jewish Studies now in Jewish Education and Leadership from Spertus Institute in Chicago. I've taught every grade from nursery, kindergarten until 12th grade and adults. Every Jewish subject, Tanakh, Navi, Jewish history, Jewish law, Ivrit, Holocaust studies, rabbinics, leadership. I've also taught gym. I'm also a yoga instructor. I just did a yoga retreat in Engedi. It was a lot of fun. Next time, come. We're doing
איפה היית? בנחשולים?
in Malon Engedi on the kibbutz.
בעין גדי?
Beautiful,
Okay.
beautiful.
There was one yoga thing in נחשולים also, in up north.
Well, I brought a group. I brought them to the hotel.
So,
It was like
very
my
nice.
own thing. Yeah, I did it with my yoga teacher. It was amazing. We had 35 people, and we had about 10 couples came on their own, or women and their mothers, and then I raised money for Miluim couples who have been fighting this past year, and they're young and they don't have funds really. So I raised money for them from friends and family all over the world, and they donated. So we had 10 Miluim couples, which was very nice for them. It was very nice for us to be with them. It was very special.
Wow. כל הכבוד.
Yeah, that was the first we did that. So, and then
You graduated from Yeshiva University, right?
Yeah.
I graduated with a bachelor's and master's in university. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been
And-
in education my whole life. I had my own company, Jets, which is where I met Yulia. We got a grant from the Pincus Foundation to run teacher and leader training in London twice and Amsterdam, I think also twice. Can't even remember, once or twice. And then I worked for other organizational. I worked for United, I was the pedagogical director for the Ministry of Diaspora Diaspora
עם שיקלי את עובדת? עם עמיחי שיקלי? במשרד שלו?
He was not minister when I was there. When I was there,
Who was the minister?
it was the other woman. It was a woman.
עומר ינקלביץ'.
Yes.
Okay.
And I worked for Better Lesson. And recently I joined forces with my sister, Tikva Wiener, who is a master educator. She has been doing professional development for decades mostly on project-based learning. And then recently she adapted it to just making meaning in all classrooms, Jewish studies and general studies. She has her bachelor's in English and art history, and her master's also in English literature. And she teaches general studies and Jewish studies. And we joined forces. Now we have 30 coaches, all from all around the globe. We have coaches in Europe and Israel and North America. We have clients already all around the globe, which is very exciting. Right to now, today, there's a workshop going on in Chicago. On Monday, we had a workshop going on in Baltimore. We're starting to coach in England and in South Africa after Pesach. We're starting to coach in Mexico and possibly Germany after Pesach.
Beautiful.
And loads in New York. I don't even mention it, but loads and loads in New York. My sister lives in New Jersey. Jacob Schafferman lives in Antwerp. He's our capital in Belgium.
Yeah.
Coaches.
In other words, your pretty young company is being very, very energetic and fast growing.
Well, we basically brought in talent that we've known our whole lives, our whole educational career wise.
Right.
And we've invited that talent to join forces with us as coaches. So we know them, we trust them. And then we also align their training once we get there. Our training is about student-centered learning. What change do you want to make in your school or classroom around student-centered learning? That is where the conversation begins. And then the response is up to the person. It is not our response. It is the person we are coaching. It is their
response. Could you please elaborate a little more about student-centered learning for Aliza? In terms of practical application as far as teachers are concerned, school leadership is concerned. In other words, like I would like to Aliza to understand it clearly.
Sure. So student-centered learning, I'm going to share my screen and I'll also be able to, oh, I can't. All right, let me try and do it this way. If I could share my screen. Okay, let me.
Actually, Smadar is technically very savvy.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, this technology is at the tip of her fingers.
Okay, so these are our, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
So these are our focus areas. I'll make them bigger. Whoops. There we go. So when we mean student-centered learning, when we say student-centered learning, what do we mean? And we mean, so here we have 4 levels. Oh, the alignment's a little bit off, but we have 4 levels. It starts with school leadership. Design your classroom, design your lessons is column 2. Column 3 are what activities are happening in your classroom, what actual learning is happening. And then column 4 is classroom culture. They are all intertwined. You cannot do one without the other. But when we begin a coaching conversation, where do you want to begin? We can only have one priority. So is your priority for leadership change? SCL is student-centered learning, SCL. So are we starting to train a coach or a leader on leading? How do we lead? How do I lead a student-centered learning culture, a school? How do I include midot or values? How do I do instructional rounds? And then if I want to break it down or build curriculum, if I want to break it down, how do I plan a lesson with student-centered learning? What are my big ideas and essential questions? A common example we get is we ask teachers, what are you teaching? Parak Gimel, or the 3rd chapter of a Navi or a Tanakh. Okay, but that's not, you're not, when the child comes home, you say, what did you learn? You don't want the child to say Parak Gimel, the 3rd chapter. You want them to say, I learned about Akedat Yitzchak and how Abraham and Yitzchak walked together with Hashem and how they had faith in God. That's what you want them to say. You don't want them to say, I learned Parak Gimel. It might sound nice, but that is a big idea and essential question. So that's this column. This column is about learning activities. Well, how did you learn that Abraham and Yitzchak walked together? What words did you learn that meant that? What commentaries did you learn that supported that? Where do we see faith in our lives? Where do you see faith in their lives? And then what's your classroom culture? What happens when the teacher walks in the room? What do the students do? Is it an element of fear? Is it fun? Is it exciting? Is it engaging? What are all the activities going on in class that make it a fun and exciting and engaging place to be?
Beautiful. So what, by practice, what do schools start with? From which of these?
You're thinking, just in general, you're thinking about the whole school? You're thinking that only about the Jewish department?
Well, depends. Basically, when I had my conversation with Smadar, I just shared like as myself. I have my personal goals as a leader. I have goals that I see for the Judaics department, for the all across the school. And Smadar was able to offer a number of variations. But as I told Aliza, basically we have just interrupted Smadar. We shall have
That's
just
okay.
to
No,
get
it's
back.
fine. Go ahead. Go ahead.
But as I've just
No, I just want.
But as I've just told Aliza, that we are basically building because getting ready for the school year in Russia. School year starts September the 1st. The school year ends the 30th of June, and basically 2 months of vacation time. And yes, and every time the goal is to strengthen not only Judaics as the number of hours of with children, but the how and the what and through what and what kind of tools. And but above all, what I find is, because I'm a methodologist as well, at least I believe myself to be so. I'm a teacher of English. I have my PhD in teaching as English as a foreign language.
Wow.
I wrote two textbooks
Wow.
of English for Russia as a foreign language again. Yes, and the key question is what you actually want to accomplish. How? Because no. And basically, I'm looking for a solution when Judaics because I believe in approaches. If you have an approach to teaching, something that I love when you give an example that you gave, it's the method of how you approach teaching. And it cannot be like Judaics teachers do it in this way and the rest of the teachers do it the other way.
Exactly.
It's a deep, profound way of teaching.
This is what I'm saying, because, okay.
And but we, as I always say, it is much it's better to have a small but successful project, like Pareto law 2080.
Parental
Have you
law?
heard of Pareto law, right?
No, what's that?
20% of effort give 80% of result.
Yes.
In other words, if you allocate, let's say, and you train the 20%, which actually 40% that Judaics department make up of the school population, teacher population, it means that it might get, well, we can start from here and then spread. It doesn't mean that we shall have to keep it in a corner without letting the rest of the people know. Right? So we can, like you recommended, I also remember you mentioned starting with the tentative group, and they might be teachers both of Judaics, of regular studies. It could be an admin, a regular admin methodologist as well. And we can just start with, I would really look into nice pilots, fully cycled from A to Z, so that it could be afterwards implemented and applied. But mainly, it's not about implementation. It's not about even methods. It's about way of thinking, because this is the core point when you break a pattern. Because our teachers of
But in order to break a pattern, you need the people to want to break a pattern.
and this is the skill. This is
Okay,
coaching.
question, if
This
it's
is coaching.
coaching, if you have, אם אתם באים, אני שנייה עוברת לעברית, בסדר, סמדר? ברשותך. I'm just passing the question, it's easier for me. האם אתם באים, מעבירים את החומר, או מלווים את המורים בפועל במשך השנה? כי מהניסיון שלי אצלנו, עשינו המון סדנאות וקואוצ'ינגים וכל מיני דברים, זה מהמם, אבל זה נשאר שם. זה לא יורד ולא מחלחל למטה, לשטח.
So there's as Yesh coaching. The pilot Shalano, our pilot, as I told Yulia, involves a series of coaching experiences. So we can have 6 levels of 6 teachers being coached 6 times or 10 times or 12 times. It's up to you what you want to pay. If it's 10 times, this package is called the Impact Package. It has 10 sessions of coaching, 1 or 2 on-site visits. We visit each classroom. It has a 75-minute workshop at your school for all the teachers involved, and then an on-site PLC meeting. A PLC is Professional Learning Community, where all the teachers who are being coached are sitting together, and we talk about our issues together with the Kadima, that's our company, with the facilitator. And then the 6 coaches, everyone gets this. The 6 teachers who are being coached. SCL, Student-Centered Learning Goal. Everyone picks their own goal, but it has to be from this that I showed you. So we all know what the goal is. Every conversation we have works toward that goal. We then create an action plan. How are we going to reach that goal? Kadima shares resources that are meaningful for them. Together, the coach and the teacher create new resources together. Obviously, the language is an issue, but if we can discuss in Hebrew or English, and then obviously they will write in Russian, or we can get it translated into Russian afterward. Then they come back and they say, I tried this. How did it go? And then
Judaics teachers speak Hebrew.
Okay, excellent.
How many teachers do we have?
So this is our, pardon?
No, it's for us to take care of it. And what is this?
This is when we coach, this is what we follow. This is our coaching model. All our coaches are trained in this. It's called GRAIN. GRAIN, the G is your goal. What is your goal? What change, student-centered learning change, do you want to make in your school or in your classroom? And what the person says, again, going back to the focus areas I showed you, we type it here. I want to make meaning in my Chumash class. Okay, so then we ask more questions. Which class, which text, which parak, which pasuk, how old are the students? What do they know? What is their Hebrew knowledge? What is their Russian knowledge? What is their English knowledge? So you make your goal very specific. And then reality, if that's what you want, what is reality right now? How much meaning is there in their Chumash class? How much do they love it? How much are they excited about it? How much do they feel that it's relevant to their lives? Maybe it's at a scale of 1 to 5, maybe it's a 1, maybe it's a 5, and share some evidence that proves that. Okay, so now we're going to take a step, action. Now we're going to take a step to move towards your goal. Then we measure the step, impact. How did that go? And then what are we going to do next? And then here's an example of how we would do that. Here's a lesson plan. We want to plan our lesson. What is an I can statement that a student will be able to say at the end of class today that they could not say at the beginning of class? Maybe they had 30 minutes together. Maybe your classes are 60 minutes. We'll find out. The student is going to write I can at the end of the day. And then you're going to make it a fun and interesting class for them. You're going to have a motivation or a hook in the beginning of class. And here's an example of that. At the end of the class, have they created an artifact? Are they going to build a portfolio? And maybe they added something to the portfolio today. Will they be sharing anything with their community? And that adds meaning. All of these things add meaning. And there's loads of these. So each time they could do a different one, or each time they could do the same one until it becomes fun for them.
Mm-hmm. Right. In other words, so they basically mainly they focus on what's happening in a class, in everyday class. And they equip, in other words, we maximize and review teacher tools, because basically this is pretty much of a professional development for them, right? Because they're pretty much stuck already. Yes. Like for example, Smadar, sorry, because don't have a computer. Like we wanted, for example, like additional 3 or I don't know 6 sessions. I can't remember that you offered as part of our discussion to our head of the Judaics department. Can you open this letter that you sent because you shaped it?
But if you do it only for her, you're not gonna get.
No. I'm just giving an example what it was.
The letter I sent you?
Yeah. When upon our session, when you came up with a wonderful sum up.
For yours?
Just to-
For the email I sent you, you mean?
Yes, you.
Okay.
Because, for example, well, I'm going to have my 3 free sessions with Yakov Schafferman on a specific goal. But along with that, I shared with Smadar something else that I would like to work on. And Smadar listened to me, and upon my request,
She's building something.
She offered something, and I would like Smadar to present it to you. It doesn't mean that we shall follow it.
No.
It
But
is just an
I'm saying,
example.
no, I have to go pack also, so I don't want it to get
Sure.
too long. But the thing is that I think we have to understand how a coach system can work in our school. Like,
And
you
how does
understand what
it
I'm
work?
saying?
How does it
It's
work in other schools?
People
Smadar?
how do we make people excited about it? How we make them being part of something like that? They're not just sitting there and taking nothing,
No, why shouldn't they take nothing?
because this is, in fact,
In
if
fact,
they're not, if they're
it's not about
involved,
it's not them having lectures.
I know.
It's about them
So we
going
have-
into classes, but with the different questions in mind, things that they have just discussed with their coach, things that they will report back about how it went.
Why not to have Mora Marina involved in such a discussion?
No, but because it's a strategic thing first. And it's
No,
the
I'm
first
saying
time
that
that you see Smadar. So, Smadar, how would you respond to Aliza's question regarding the fact that she's worried that it's common knowledge today, it's Harvard surveys that prove that professional development is only 10% that people take as soon as it is imposed. In other words, how do we get teachers or the staff or the admins buy in? To really because there is no better motivation than the internal motivation.
100%. So we do an on-site visit in the $25,000 package. There's an on-site visit. That's 6 teachers being coached. We also write reports twice a year on all the changes that are being made and its effect. So in a case where you feel there will be reluctance from the teachers, often we begin with an on-site. And the on-site visit, maybe not to observe their classes first, if it's a few days. The first day is just getting to know people. What are your goals? We can go around in the room. What are your goals for your classroom? If you could
How
change
many of you come, Smadar? One, two people.
however many you want to pay for. In the
Uh-huh.
$25,000 package, it's one person and plus travel.
Okay.
For Biyakov, he's in Belgium, so getting him there. I can
Mhm.
come too, but then it's additional cost. You can have as many as you want, but it's include one person is included in the 25.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So we could have 2 or 3, depending how many. If you have like 3, if you take 2 impact packages, then you could have 2 people. Take 3 impact packages, 3, or you could just say
I
one.
didn't know how many, that's why I asked.
Yeah.
Okay, so
You could always add on additional people. You could say,
Sure.
you could choose, make your choice. I want 10 people being coached. I want 2 people coming to visit. You can decide, I want more reports, less reports. You can also take each piece. So if we come and we make it a fun experience and we give out some of our beautiful materials and we have one-to-one conversations, not in this group, we are here to teach you. That's not the vibe. Sit alone with a teacher. If you could make your classroom better in one way, what would you want? Just asking them, what would you change? Oh, I want the students to be more excited. Okay, well, we can't change your student, but we can change the way you teach. We can change the activities that you do. We can change the protocols in the classroom. You can wait for your students by the door and give out colored index cards and have them walk into the classroom, and then there are instructions on the board what to do with the colored index cards, or instructions on little tables. So already we're changing the dynamic. And how does that
Right.
sound to you? Oh, I don't want to do that. Okay, well, what about this one? Does this sound more fun to you? And then after you do that with each teacher, then we could do like a little lunch together and we order some nice food for them so they feel special and they feel welcome and they feel excited. And we'd be happy to bring something exciting from Israel or Europe, wherever we can get it from, that you would think the teachers would be excited. So something that they feel that they should feel valued. We are there to value them because teaching is
Mhm.
hard. We want to make it easier. So we come with that attitude and that approach, and we are here to listen. And then if we do a lunch, an hour, 1 hour lunch activity, it's short. It's again student-centered learning, and we just show different ways to engage students, and we talk about it. What was fun for you? What was meaningful for you? What excites you?
Mhm.
זה נשמע מדהים, אני רק מנסה לחשוב איך דבר כזה. תגידי, מה הקשר שלכם עם קרן יעל מבחינת פאנדס?
I do not have a connection with them. I'd be happy to fill out any application.
You said you have a connection with קרן יעל.
No, I just mentioned for Smadar that we are in
Oh, I thought you have a
cooperation. No, and
connection.
Smadar just gave an idea that we might outsource Smadar's company by using Karen Yale's funds. It's not
so
that
you
Smadar,
work
no.
already with קרן יעל.
No, not
So
yet.
I got it wrong.
So if we can apply for a grant, then they could pay for it.
Do you work with any funds at all?
We work with United, and they are paying for South Africa and England and Mexico and Germany.
Can we apply?
We can ask them, but it sometimes takes a little bit, you know. We can
Okay,
ask.
anyway, we're talking about next year, not.
Yeah, but we're talking about this next school year
Next
starting
year anyway.
September.
Right, recording.
Yeah.
But do you think that how will they view Moscow?
I think it can work. They want to work with outside North America, so
They're ready to work with outside America. Okay.
anything outside America. So you are outside America, so that works.
That's very true. That's very true.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah, that would be fantastic if you could share some links so that we could start working on the ground.
Sounds great. I'm just saying, like, okay, of course we have to understand the fun situation and also how really לרתום. How do you say לרתום in English?
I don't know.
יודעת מה זה לרתום את הצוות?
Oh, to make them excited.
It's more than to make them excited.
Well, listen, I remember being a part of that workshops with Smadar running it.
Yeah, but being there, doing it, it's amazing. I would be probably also very, but then going back into class when Smadar is not around, and
But it's a year-long program to
Right,
help them
but-
develop a habit.
right. But this is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about.
Smadar, could you share a little, maybe like because I just Aliza is actually traveling back to
Okay,
Israel
hi,
already
Ross.
tomorrow, and she is to pack. And thank you very much for giving us the time.
את עובדת לילה.
Yes. Could you just share maybe some positive example from one of the schools with a similar issue of people's resistance or reluctance, or when all these new tools don't stick?
Well,
And how is it-
so the coaching really helps it stick. We actually call it the stickiness. A workshop is, as you said, exciting to be there, or if we come and it's exciting to do it there. But what makes it stick in my classroom is that I meet you in 2 weeks. How is it going? That lesson plan that we talked about, what happened, what went well, let's celebrate an exciting activity, and let's share a challenge. What didn't go well, and let's work on that challenge. What we also do in the impact program at the end of the year, we have what we call a celebration of learning. That can be on site or online. And each of the teachers being coached shares, I am amazing because this is what changed in my classroom and it was amazing. And here's what happened. And here are pictures and here are videos. And here I'm going to show you everything we did. And everyone knows that they're going to be doing this. So they know they're going to be sharing this. So they have to, what am I going to share? Oh, I didn't do anything. No, they want to. And it's giving them an opportunity to show what they've changed in their classroom and to show off to their colleagues. We want them to show off to their colleagues because we want to learn from everybody. Everybody wants to learn from everyone. So it ends with the celebration of learning. So when you package it in all of that framework, we're going to talk to you about the changes you want to make. We're going to show you some ways that can help you. We're going to talk to you regularly to see how it works. And at the end, you're going to show off everything that you've done.
All right.
Right.
Is there a way to apply to the Yael Foundation for fun?
אני יכולה לשאול, I can ask.
No, we can actually have we can integrate it somewhere, or we can.
No. It has to be separate. Like
Yes, because yes, Aliza has people in the Yale Fund to
I can
explore,
ask first, but
just to
then
explore the opportunities. Basically, we are setting
I
up
will ask you first.
we are setting up our own project. We apply for it, and Smadar's company is becoming a tool to implement the goal or the task of our project. It's not like outsourcing for what? Just to outsource Smadar. It should be in a framework of another project that we as a school
What do you-
develop. You understand?
No.
Yes.
No, I don't understand.
Smadar, can you rephrase it, please, if you follow me?
That you want your school is going to make a change in student-centered learning.
Yes, and that is gonna be a potential topic of the project that we might apply to Yael Foundation Fund. And as a tool, or in other words, what are we going to do with the budgets? If they approve of these budgets, we shall show them that partially the specific amounts to ensure that we make this project happen, we're going to outsource this company.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, we are going to promote student-centered learning in our school.
Yeah.
And we shall write down the goals, and Smadar will definitely help me to develop the goals, to fill in that table.
Yeah, and we can get all of that translated into Russian also. Either someone on your end can do it, or we can. I'm sure I could find somebody in Israel that can translate everything into Russian.
Oh,
Smadar lives in Jerusalem, in fact.
yeah. איפה אתם גרים? Where do you live at?
Katamonim. Where do you live?
רמת בית שמש.
Oh,
How far is it?
RBS.
How far is it from my wonderful?
it's a half an hour.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
happy.
from Aliza.
From Mamila, my favorite Mamila.
Ah.
Every time I go to Israel, I meet Aliza and Dara at Mamila. And this is why,
Not far.
yeah, since I'm missing my partners and friends so much, well, this Mamila place gives me a very warm feeling.
Yeah.
Yes. So let us just do something practical at the end. Speaking a little bit about why I would like to give you the insight. We are in touch with Aderet, but before giving a complete answer, just the landscape a little better. These girls obviously. So well, basically, the Israeli Madrihim coming to our school is also a part of this year project that is supported by Yael Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we have already received our Madrihim how many? 3 times?
Twice.
No, 3. 3.
Twice.
3.
Sukkot. And then Shabbaton.
No, they came in January as well. Or the boys came.
The boys came to Shabbaton.
The boys, the girls,
Shabbaton is
and a long stay during the fall, Hagim and the fall. Sukkot and
Sukkot, the big September, they came.
September, Rosh Hashanah, etc. Anyway, so we have already used because they also gave us certain amounts, and we have used out of 4 visits, we have already used 3, and now we are planning like the final one. Yes, but now Aliza, because she is a hawk on the budgets, to keep an eye that we don't overspend, because and basically, in fact, I run the city budgets. And I know what kind of responsibility it is, just like you as the leader of your company. So now, could you please share what is the financial situation?
No,
And maybe
not sure.
Smadar
Yeah,
will figure
so
it out
I'll
just
just
for us to make it
explain.
happen.
I don't know if it's so actually we're supposed to have madrichot coming on Yom Ha'atzmaut, like the week of Yom Ha'atzmaut. So what I said, and that's the year budgeting. So what I said, if we want to change it, of course we prefer Yom Ha'atzmaut because it's big holidays and.
But then it turned out that
Much better.
Yom Ha'atzmaut falls on April the 30th, and the next day is a huge public holiday that lasts almost 10 days in Russia,
Oh,
which means that the majority of families might leave even 2 or 3 days before.
oh,
And that's why it makes this Yom Ha'atzmaut day no less meaningful, but
nobody will be there.
will be, yes. And in other words, all this investment will not make the desired impact. So this is why when Aderet mentioned, honestly, you mentioned Sukkot. That's why I was preparing for the next. Yes, but Aderet mentioned Pesach, and we told each other, wow, why not Pesach? We've never had the madrichot for Pesach, because first of all, with boys, it is always a problem to send them away.
Even though the week even before Yom Ha'atzmaut, it's Yom HaZikaron, it's Yom HaShoah, so it's meaningful time, like very meaningful.
But we also have the 9th of May. It is the 80th anniversary of the World War II Great Patriotic War Thrusters. Yes, but in other words, but they will.
The question if they can come at all.
No, but Adara says that they can come. Well, she said that she can come before Pesach. I did not understand from her that she is able to come on another
Because
days.
they have the boys have off for a month, like they have off 2 or 3 weeks before Pesach and even a week after. So the boys get off for the whole time, and the girls can. Some of them can get off. May, my son is getting married in May, so she's not going anywhere in May. There it is.
Aliza has just married off her daughter less than a month ago.
Mazel tov, mazel tov. So no one's going. My husband just said, I want to go to America. I said, I don't want to hear the word May. There's been too much chaos in the world.
Yeah.
So I said, May, everyone is in this country. You can maybe go to Eilat if you need to. So April is better, or the summer, or next year, but I don't know when you want to finish your budget.
But Aderet mentioned that next year she's going to be elsewhere, and she
Yeah.
won't.
She's not really available anymore.
She won't be available.
Right, that is true. She's going to a very rigorous.
What's her motivation to travel? She just because
she was a madricha in Ezra. Do you know what Ezra is? So she like lived this and they all were, all the kids were, and every week they would make activities for the kids and sing. And she also was a part of 2 different volunteer organizations in Israel that we worked the land, and it was agriculture, very, very connected, a lot of tzionut and singing and connection, and how teenagers really can make a difference in connecting to Eretz Yisrael, to the land of Israel, literally, physically, because they did a lot of agriculture, helping farmers all over the country. So it's just in her blood to share this passion of,
Mhm.
of love for the land, of love for one another. And she was in two programs. Each one were different students from all over the country. Some were religious, some weren't. Some came from very religious homes, some came from not at all. And they were forced to listen, to debate. They had to say, I am going to the army, I'm not going to. They had to say it just so you hear and listen to someone else's opinion and then stay silent and then respect their opinion. And then you can argue with them, but you argue with kindness and with passion and not with anger. So she has done all this training, and all the kids that she's bringing, most of them have also.
Yeah, אז בוא נדבר על זה שנייה, because actually we have budget for 4 מדריכות, or 4 מדריכים, 4 people. So
we would
this is what we can read.
yes,
actually.
and we also one of them we would expect, because we believe it will be much more effective to induct the cohort that Aderet might bring with someone who has already been a madricha by us, who knows the school, who also speaks Russian, who is like a fish in the lake in our school, who
Okay.
knows Moscow, with whom the girls or boys might be able to spend time afterwards. She knows all the kosher places, best stores for the youth to go to in the evening, or the sites to see. And yes,
Right. So we were not expecting to have 8 מדריכים, בואי נגיד ככה.
though it looks like a
It looks
wonderful,
amazing,
wonderful
but
dream for us to
it's
happen,
amazing, but
and we definitely have to work on it next year, maybe
maybe next
to
budget.
redistribute.
Right, but this year
Maybe to
I just
redistribute.
don't see it. אלא אם כן, יש איזשהו קרן.
And in this connection, I would ask for your recommendation and your advice. So if one of these 4 is going to be the madricha that has already has an experience with Ets Haim, she's actually Aliza's daughter, and I must tell you. And I must tell you that Esther is amazing. She's amazing with the little ones. She has that very passion that you've been talking about. Yes. So how would you envision? Because we are all for boys. We are all for girls.
I wish we can bring everyone. Yeah, it's our dream, but just budgeting is
yes.
quite.
So how would you consider bringing only girls? Bring boys, girl. How would you just give us a hand, please, if you
Well,
can?
you have Eliza's daughter, and then one other girl, and then 2 boys. So everybody has a role model, and everyone has an activity. I mean, it's up to you. Obviously, it's not my choice. It's your school. You know better, but you have girls and boys in the school.
But this is the point here that about the language. Derek mentioned that she mentioned 4 girls, and she mentioned that 2 of them are okay with Russian. She mentioned 4 boys, out of whom just one is doing a little bit of Russian. That's it. And in other words, making an impact with little Russian might be very challenging.
So you want more of the Russian speakers?
I'm just looking about. So I'm just giving you a layout. I don't want. I would. I want everybody.
Of course, we would love to have. I would be amazed.
Because you're there. Just like Esther is already like a pack.
Yes, there it is, like multiple
because
people.
they're so great. But on the other hand, I also don't want to make their work very hard, because one thing is when I come and do the work all by myself, or there are 2 or 3 people, and it is already immediately this Israeli spirit in the school.
They can do all the spirit. You don't have to do any spirit. They'll take care of all the spirit.
Yeah.
She's non-stop. Yeah.
Yes.
I go
So
to bed
do you know these girls and boys, Smadar, yourself?
some of them. I don't know the Russian speaking ones. I don't know those at all. I know her. I know her friend Sarah Shira. I know one of the boys, Devere, and I know one of the boys, Ilan.
Are they well trained for being madrichim?
Yeah.
Really?
They're beyond amazing. Yeah, incredible.
Wow.
I'm going to send you also a game that one of the boys' father, he's an an educational game designer. He built a map of Israel that's massive. It's in magnetic pieces, and you put it on the door. It's a magnetic door. It's multiple kids. It's huge. Multiple kids can work on it, and it's all in Hebrew though. If they read Hebrew, as soon as they're fluent in Hebrew, they can read, and they put together. And it has all.
Teachers might help them to do the translation, or just to attach the translation.
Maybe they can be with Yasa or with
No, but Yasa and Daniela, but we have two local girl madrichot.
And then
And they might be like helping hands. They are not trained, and we always encourage them to learn from those who come with experience.
So yeah, Jared and her friends can.
I think again, like maybe it's a good idea to pick 2 girls, 2 boys,
And to add 2 more girls, 2 more local girls.
local girls. Yeah.
In other words, we're going to have a pack of 4 girls
Great.
and 2 girls together with men teachers.
No, that means 2 madrichim,
2
madrichim, 2 boys,
2 boys
2
and 2 girls are there and her friend.
and then they'll meet
And then
and
Yassia and Daniela. But do they
but
speak?
one of the girls must be like מישהו חייב לדבר רוסית. One of them must be Russian speaking, like one of the girls. Because they doesn't understand Hebrew so well.
And do they understand English?
Yeah.
Does she really understand
Who?
English?
Yasa?
Yassia, Daniela.
Yasa understand English. I don't know. Perfect.
At what age?
That also my little question, my little guess, because it's always a little bit, we do this work, but it's a little challenging because we do Zooms and we say what we expect, but we actually are happy to help them build the program. Are you giving a hand, your professional hand, or you do the final polish touch? You do?
Yeah, and my daughter also, my older daughter, Hadass, she was a komonari, which Aliza, you know what that is, right?
What is komonari?
It's
מונרת, תסבירי, אני לא יכולה להסביר.
she was in charge of all the informal education in the city. It was an underserved, underprivileged city, a lot of difficult family life situations. And she was in charge of all the informal ed. She would literally walk into these kids' houses, take them off the couch, because all they would do after school is sit and watch TV and be on their phones. She would say, come with me. Their parents were, of course, not home.
Wow.
Bring them to like a center, a model where they would hang out. And she would do these fun and engaging activities with them, all about Israel and all about your own goals, like giving them life goals. What are your goals for the next 5 years? And these teenagers said, nobody's ever asked me that before. You know, kids who are not from strong families. So she has a booklet like this big of all the activities she did the entire year. She did it for 2 years.
Wow.
And she can also help Adaret very, very much with doing that. And all her friends did also. So we have a whole family team.
So like, okay, so yeah, so well, how would
by the way, אני כן מחפשת שליחים לשנה הבאה, אם את מכירה זוג מורים.
באיזה
עם
גיל?
ניסיון פחות של 2 מורים.
מורים.
זוג. יכולה להיות גם מישהי לבד, אבל 2 ניסיון חובה במשרד החינוך.
I will ask. יש לך פלייר או משהו?
אם אני אשלח לך, כן.
What?
שליחים for next year.
Oh yes, we do.
Okay, what were you gonna say, Yulia? I'm sorry.
No, like we shall finalize tomorrow and we shall let you know how shall we proceed with the Derek because
Yeah, after Pesach
is what?
מתי?
We can't do after Pesach.
Okay. You sure we asked her? We asked her that if she can do after Pesach?
Can we clarify?
זה מאוד לחוץ לפני פסח.
I can ask her, yeah.
But she said that she cannot.
Oh,
אולי אני אברך פסח. Maybe right after פסח.
she knows she doesn't live at home anymore. I don't, you probably speak to her more than I do this week. So I don't know her schedule. She lives in Ofakim. She works with special needs adults.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. She's an amazing girl.
Thank you. She's a cutie. I keep her.
Yeah.
Goes mother.
Yes, but so well, what we do next? We just help with the tickets. We collect this data. When they start doing the program, we shake hands. So
You
what?
talk to the team also and make sure like everyone is on it also.
Yeah, just definitely. We are gonna talk with the our school team so that they are ready to accept. We shall. In other words, our job will be just to help them get integrated pretty much into Ets Haim even before they step.
That would be good.
Into this.
Maybe write down on a document, or I can, what are the next steps that everyone looks at it, everyone agrees. And if you say someone from the school is going to start speaking to them once a week, need to know 100%. That is very important. Maybe you can meet with the girls together, boys together, everyone's on different schedules, but they have to meet. Or,
So, but if we talk about the boys, and well, Aliza says that we need the Russian boy. Russian-speaking boy. There it says that there is just one who barely speaks Russian.
She can keep looking, maybe.
Why? She said she has someone from Ukraine or something, no, that he speaks Russian.
She mentioned that there is a boy who speaks Russian ktsat, and this boy still doesn't have a passport to travel with.
Oh, well, that's not good.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
so
this, in other words, in other words, we shall have to work on the actual status of all these boys and girls to basically finalize it. And you will have
Okay.
to order tickets to your Estia.
So we'll work on
That's
dates,
fine.
we'll work on tickets, we'll work on weekly.
So let us yes, and then let us be in touch on that immediate matter.
The team is on it, you have to talk.
Yes, we're gonna talk, I'm gonna, yes, we're gonna, you will be able to tomorrow.
And
Yes, we will.
expectations, even if you have like 3 or 4 bullet points, what do you expect from these kids? And that they can start preparing themselves, whatever if you want them to make 15 activities for grades 5 through 10, okay, so you want them to make 10 activities.
No, we do it a little bit, we do it a little bit differently. We don't tell them how many activities we want. They decide for themselves, working on a task, working on a certain like general general assignment that we would like, or rather the effect that we would like to get, or certain things that we would expect children to learn. And we don't want to tell them how many activities will be required for them to learn the set order, let's say.
No, but how much time will they have? How much time will they have with the children? How much
So
space?
this is what she asked, and that's very clear that we are gonna share that with her,
Okay.
because basically we usually try to also we change the schedule. We're trying to Russian is written from left to right, Hebrew
Right.
from right to left, so we try to
Merge. Do
find the golden.
Do you have a copy of one of your schedules that you used already? Maybe that your daughter did, like something?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do
Yeah,
have
but
that.
it's different.
But
Usually they come for Shabbatonim, and it's different because this is the main activity, like the Shabbaton. So everything refers.
But what I loved also is that Aderet mentioned that they're very much enthusiastic. They might stay and run a mini Shabbatonim.
But it has to be only with Russian people because they never did it.
Russian
They're
people.
gonna be in Mavasek. You know what I mean? It's
Still gonna be.
maybe festival will come, but if not, it's to אנחנו עוד פה. We have to leave.
Yes, Smadar, thank you very, very much. It's been
Thank
such
you.
beautiful pleasure
Naila.
meeting you. And yes,
בהצלחה בינתיים.
such pleasure talking to someone so professional and into Jewish tradition and to methodology and being a wonderful mother. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So
And talk to you soon. Talk to you soon. Thank you.
מוכנים לחתונה? מוכנים לחתונה?
ממש לא.
מה פתאום?
Okay. Bye bye.
בסוף זה קורה. ביי.
נכון.